What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Clearly Distorted podcast, the podcast where we discuss our clearly thought out ideas shared through our distorted lenses. I am Damien. That's Julian. She's Patricia. And we are the Clearly Distorted podcast. Welcome.
You notice no nicknames anymore. Dame's still on that. I'm not doing it.
So anyway, like I say every week, a good portion of our viewers, we appreciate you for checking us out, aren't subscribers. So if that is you, press pause, back out of this, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification, come back in, and we'll be right here waiting for you.
Well, they don't have to hit pause to subscribe. You do know that, right?
Thanks for clarifying that, Julian.
I'm a hater because I'm just helping you out.
Because you could have told me that while we weren't recording the other 3 times I've said it, or just have let it go. But yeah,
you just provided instructions to like a grandma or something. Like, okay,
yeah, thanks, appreciate
You're welcome.
That's 4 eye rolls I've counted so far.
Yeah, Mr. Grumpy Pants.
You know what?
Daym has been extremely grumpy lately.
No, he hasn't.
That's not
he
true.
has. If I say something, he feels challenged. Like, but you know,
not true at all.
All right. Well, how's everyone doing? Patricia, your eye looks much better.
Thank you. Yes.
Back in the land of the gobbles.
You know, I want to let our listeners know my commitment to this podcast because it is, well, it's now 5 a.m, but we've been at this since 3:30.
Yeah.
a.m.
Yeah. Definitely appreciate your dedication.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And it's good to have you back once again.
Thank you. I made it safe and sound.
Yeah.
Back in Turkey.
Yes.
So what's new with you, Julian?
Nothing much. I was at the gym super late. Oh, I got a story to tell you guys. I told you already, Damien. So I do music, and one of the things when you make music is the car test, right? You got to do the car test. So no matter how the music sounds on your headphones, when you're mixing it and everything, it's not really done until you play it on different speakers, and the car test is an important thing. So the other night, I'm up late doing music.
How late?
It was about 2 a.m, right? So I go outside. Now, you know, I live in single-family home neighborhood. I go outside, get in my car, and I start playing my music to test it out. And I did this a couple of times throughout the night, but by 2 o'clock in the morning, I guess some neighbor of mine across the street, some short little white guy comes out after me. He must have been like in his early 30s. And I like kind of hear muffling, and I turn, and he's in the street, like in a little pathway right before you walk up to my driveway. And he's yelling at me. So I roll down the window, and he's like, "It's 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. It's 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. What the fuck are you doing?" So I'm like, "Yo, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I'll lower it." But he kept talking shit. So, you know, that just brought outside. And I just started yelling at him, like, "Get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out of here. Go to your fucking house." And, you know, we were joining back and forth. And then he's like, you know, well, why don't you come out? And he's like, challenged me to come out the car. But I didn't know if the guy was strapped. I didn't know any of that. And I had this weird feeling that he was trying to get me to provoke him or to step to him. So I told him, I'm like, "Yo, you don't want any of this shit, bro. You really don't want this shit." And then like, he kind of was like looking weird. And then like, I made like a pivot a little bit, like I was going to open the door, and he like took like a step back. And then, you know, we jawed back and forth a little bit more, and he ended up going to his back to his house. And I called him like a fucking dick or whatever, a pussy. And that was it.
Wait, you really gave it to him?
No, I didn't give it to him. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, yo.
No, like I was wrong. I shouldn't have played the music so loud or whatever. But once you get the apology, like shut the fuck up and go to your house.
Were your windows not up?
Oh no, the windows were closed, but I'm like pumping it up. But he's across the street. Like he probably heard something, but it's not like it was shaking his house. I don't have like a system.
You
I have my
you don't got the 15s bumping in the trunk.
Nah, it's not anything like that. Now, you know, it's a new car, 2022 factory speakers, but it goes loud, but it ain't like it wasn't like shaking his house or anything. Anyway, male Karen.
Got those bows bumping.
So did you see him this morning? You're like, hi, neighbor.
No, I've never seen him before. They recently moved in. But I told my family whenever I do see him, I'm gonna give him the eyes.
What's the eyes?
You gonna wink at him? What's the eyes?
No, Daym. I'm not gonna wink at him and then suck his cock later
like
on. All I'm gonna do is just give him
what's the eyes?
You know the.
Oh, you gonna mean mug him?
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why you say mean mug, and you said the eyes. I'm thinking
yeah,
like batting, like
gonna give him the eyes. Like get your
know.
eyelashes done before you do that.
I don't know, Daym. How does that usually work for you?
I have no idea. I mean mug. I don't give eyes. Can't help you, buddy. Sorry.
buddy.
Well, nobody can hardly ever see your fucking eyes anyway.
Yeah. My mom calls them bedroom eyes.
What does she call them?
Bedroom eyes.
Bedroom eyes? Meaning what?
You'd have to ask her.
Okay.
Bedroom eyes, like sexy eyes, like
My eyes don't open. This is all you get. That's it.
Yeah, go like this.
I can't. That's it. This is it. This is it.
Don't strain yourself, man. I'd imagine if Damien like was able to like really do it, he'd probably be in pain.
Yeah.
And you like pop them open?
Pop them open.
Like go like this? Like if you're in shock?
Yeah, but then I look crazy. I mean, how long am I gonna walk around like that?
Well, do it. Let me see.
I just did it.
Things like this. I just did it. Anyway.
And then don't pull the camera, because then the one eye is just gonna close. For you. No, not close. Your eyebrow's gonna lift.
There you go. That's that one right there.
So what's up with you, Daym?
I am beginning to take my health a little more seriously.
So glad to hear that.
You're what?
Beginning to take my health a little more seriously.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, starting to, read labels and shit. Pay attention to sugar and shit.
Oh man, that sugar is the killer.
Yeah.
Not the fried food, it's the sugar.
I've made a few attempts to find someone to go to the gym with me in the morning, because I just know I'm never gonna go after work. And so far that mission's failing. So I might just be going to the gym by myself in the morning. But yeah, I'm on a mission, and I am intentionally saying, normally I would never say this shit in public or to anyone, but I'm putting that pressure on myself. So I'm telling it to everyone.
Do you have an Apple Watch?
Of course not.
Never mind.
But
prolificator.
Yes. Very happy to hear that. As you guys know, I've been going to the gym. I was at the gym like 3 a.m. the other day. I actually really prefer going at night. I know that's not possible for everyone, but
you don't
the vibe is so much better
for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's not something I could do every day, but it gives me more options, because I have so many things going on that I can't always get to the gym when I want. So figure, you know what? If I have to go at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning and be there a couple of hours, I can do it. Because normally I'm up that time anyway. So,
I was reading this thing, Dr. Conrad, I think his name. It's drinking 40 ounces of freshly squeezed orange juice in combination with food, but it's supposed to reset a lot of things. And what it was saying is that 3 days prior, like I have to YouTube it. I think his name is Dr. Conrad. But anyways, so 3 days prior to you starting your juicing, you stop eating like the sugars and the wheats and the nuts and beans and all that stuff. It tells you like what you can eat. Basically, you can eat salads, fish, meats, nothing lactose or whatever. And then you do 3 days after, you start doing the 40 ounces of carrot juice, combined with your foods. It's not like you're just gonna juice. And then it's supposed to reset your entire body. And people, I'm gonna look it up on YouTube. And but if you look it up on YouTube, like it's 5 times 5, so five glasses of juice of carrot juice for 5 days. If you YouTube it, and there's a lot of people claiming that like arthritis, clears up flares and cholesterol, everything. Maybe you want to look into it.
The juicing, I know, like drinking juice, a lot of people think that's healthy, but it's not.
A lot of sugar.
It's a lot of sugar in there. Like think about it.
It's not just. But it's
no. I'm not criticizing the diet. I'm just talking about
eating.
In general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, intermittent fasting and waking up and drinking water before you do anything also supposedly does a cleansing reset. So. I'm sure there's some science behind it.
Yeah,
or some method behind it. But yeah,
I plan to do a little bit of all of that. The intermittent fasting, getting back in the gym, and just minding what I eat.
Yeah, for me, I mean, cut out your carbs, cut out your sugar, drink a lot of water, and
I'm gonna reduce.
Exercise.
I'm gonna reduce. I'm not committing to cutting out anything, but I can eat and things in moderation. So I don't have any health concerns at the moment, but I'm trying to prevent that from being the case. And
I was in Florida for a month, and I have rheumatoid arthritis, and the minute I got there, I started flaring up really bad, to the point that I had to use my medication and whatnot. And to make a long story short, by the end of my stay in Florida, this hand, I couldn't close my fist. It was pretty much frozen like this, right? I couldn't do this. And I arrived in Turkey, and the next day, without taking any medication or anything, I was able to have full function of my hands.
Do you think it's the humidity, or?
I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
That's wild.
Maybe it's just the stress of being here, and maybe you were more relieved to get home. No,
because when we were all there, like my entire family and everything was there, it's the same thing. But the funny thing about what I've noticed is that when I'm in Florida, I try my best. I'm very conscious of what I eat because of my flares. I try to do this and do this and do that, and not eat this and not eat certain things, right? So I feel like when I'm there, I eat better than when I'm here. But when I'm here, I eat worse and I feel better. Because I eat a lot of breads and desserts and drinks, everything. So it's interesting.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, at least.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you guys ready for this 20 questions this week? I think I got some good ones. I think I got some better ones than what I've had. So are you guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right. So, woo. All right.
He just said that he's watching what he eats, but he just was drinking that beer. Just want to point that out.
He said
moderation.
What he said was he's starting to read labels. So, should read the label on that.
Moderation is the key.
So we'll start off with a couple of easier ones, okay? So nude beach, yay or nay?
No.
No.
All right. Is there life after death?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
I think it's fuck. Yeah.
Fuck. All right. All right. Have you ever faked it?
Yes.
Picked what?
Twice.
My accent?
The big O. If you've
Of
ever had
course.
one.
Who wouldn't? Or who hasn't?
I've heard some women haven't.
Well, I mean, I guess I haven't when I faked it.
Oh, so you have faked it. Okay, okay, good.
Yeah, of course.
Would you rather be a giver or a receiver? Take it how you want.
Nah, we need some clarity because that could be.
That's the question, Daym.
I'd like to be both.
Not answering that question. That's too vague.
Come on, Daym, you gotta
bro.
answer it, bro.
Nope.
Why do you take everything sexual? It could be like, would you like to be
This
giving...
is Julian, and he edits this, and I don't trust. I don't trust him.
I'm supposed to be the hater, and I'm not doing anything. All I'm saying is, would you rather be the giver or the receiver?
Oh no, I heard you loud and clear. Yeah.
That's it.
Next question.
Just say both.
Next question.
Oh gosh. This can't be 20 questions if you don't answer it. You're breaking
19
the rules.
questions then. What do you want me to tell you?
I vote that you answer the question. Patricia, do you vote that he answers the question?
Mm-hmm. You have to answer the question.
I'll take a shot instead of answering. How about that?
All right. If this is going to be the trend, then you're probably not going to answer a lot of these questions. All right.
See, because you got these weird questions where you putting people in weird positions, and you're gonna record it, and then when the episode comes out, it's gonna play 50 times in the most random places.
I've never done that.
Oh yes, you have.
Okay. Is there a sex tape of you somewhere in this world?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Have you ever pissed yourself?
Oh.
Okay.
Can we get details?
Of what?
Of your tape.
No.
Were you giving or receiving in the tape? All right. Have you ever pissed yourself?
Not that I can remember.
All right. Daym, were you going to elaborate on the other questions?
No.
Oh, okay. You look like you were going to say something. What is your biggest turnoff?
Well, I know Damien's clearly saying things wrong.
Grammar is a huge, grammar is huge for me.
So that's a big turnoff for you. Okay, what about you, Patricia?
A turnoff for me is someone that it's just cocky. Like,
not my biggest one, but it's one.
Like, I can't. Like, when they're only talking about themselves or they've done everything, like you're talking about something and they've done it, and yeah.
Are we talking about like people in general or in like your significant other?
It's vague enough to whatever. Like, it doesn't. Yeah, it could just be like,
if it was about my husband.
Well, no, not necessarily like
different.
your husband, but like someone that you.
Yeah, like you just know or something like, or it doesn't even have to be a dating interest. Just something that turns you off. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody that talks up. Yeah.
I'll stick with grammar.
All right. So
you know what? No, I don't. I people who lack ambition. Really drives me crazy.
That always bothers me. Why would you care?
Not necessarily that I just don't want you around me.
That's weird. Okay.
No, you surround yourself with people who share interests that you share.
Yeah, that's true, but sometimes what you would consider ambition
No, ambition is ambition. I don't give a fuck what it is. You want to be the world's best booger picker, be that, but strive for something. Yeah, I don't care what it is.
All right. I tend to not judge people that way, but I get what you're saying.
It's not judgment. I just don't want to associate with those kind of people.
All right.
I guess I'm judgy then. I don't know. Call it what you want.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go into the one has to go first. Normally I save that for last because I got some interesting scenario questions that are gonna be fun. So we'll do these. There's a short little round here. So one has to go. Empanadas or Jamaican patties?
Empanadas.
What?
Empanadas. I like Jamaican patties better.
Ooh.
And I'm Puerto Rican, but yeah. Jamaican patties. Yeah. I'm a New Yorican. I'm a New Yorican.
Puerto Rican.
All right, don't hate.
Some cocoa
bacon,
bread.
Bacon or eggs?
Astaghfirullah. Bacon. Haram.
I don't really eat it anymore, but if I had to pick one, I would say eggs gotta go.
Pizza or burgers?
Burgers.
I'd say burgers, yeah. Even though I like a good burger better than I like a good pizza. So
yeah, I take pizza.
All right. Prince or Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Prince. I mean, they're both gone, so this question is pointless.
Freckles or dimples?
Freckles.
Freckles.
Think about this one. One has to go. In other words, in this scenario, the one that goes is the one, it's the lesser of two evils. Serial killers or child molesters?
Oh, child molesters.
Serial killer. Yeah, that. Child molesters.
Child molesters.
All right. Ready for the scenario questions? That's a yes? Or
yeah,
no?
yeah, man.
So,
breath.
For $1 million, would you run naked in a Walmart for 5 minutes?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay. If you found a huge case of money, but in this huge case of money, there was also a decapitated head, would you report it or would you keep the money and discard the head?
I would report it.
That depends. Like, was it newly decapitated or is it like a skull?
It's like a plastic bag with a head in it. Yeah.
Like a fresh new.
Yeah, somewhat fresh, I guess.
And how much money is in there?
Just a huge case of money, probably like several million. You know, if you report it, you don't keep the money, right?
Right.
Report it.
Daym's like the person's dead, so what difference does it make?
They probably found the rest of his.
So you're keeping the money. I take it.
I would. Not necessarily, but if I could come up with a way to like turn the head in somehow without it coming back to me, then yeah, I would keep the money.
All right.
You know how like people drop somebody, gets shot.
Why didn't
they drop
you just
them
say
off
that you would just take the money and not report anything?
Well, because I would want, like, if they needed the head to solve the crime or to identify a body, I would want that for that family. But how much do I want that for that family?
So would it be fair to say that you would give the head?
See?
What?
What?
I mean, give it to the authorities.
Right. Yeah, I probably would, like, I don't know, drop it off at an emergency room or something.
That's not quite the parameters of the question or the scenario.
Well, I guess to answer the question, I would keep the money, but then I would still try and go get some closure for some family.
I would just drive down the highway and just chuck it out the window, and
that's fucked up.
Somebody will find it. Anyway, moving on. This is assuming your best friend is a male, Patricia, and you probably can't answer this. It's probably very inappropriate, but it's probably more of a Daym question. But would you suck the poison out of your friend's dick if he was bitten by a snake there?
No.
And he only had like a few minutes to live. That's a no.
Yeah, no, I said no.
Oh, okay. How about if it was just like on the shaft?
I'm sorry.
How about if it was the balls? How about if it was in the crotch region, but not necessarily on the penis?
Damien said if the bathing suit doesn't cover it, he's not touching it.
I like that, Patricia. Thank you.
Patricia, I can move on, right?
Yes.
Okay. If someone proves to you that they are from the future and tells you that someone they know is going to kill you and one of your loved ones, and the only way to prevent it is for you to kill them while they're still a child, would you do it?
Oh, no.
So I knew Patricia would say no. Daym, I think he would say yes.
Would you kill a child?
Yeah, but why does it have to be a child? Why? I mean, because at what age do they kill me?
When they're a little older.
So why
it's not
only prevent it when they're a child?
It's not. It's because that's the question. That's what makes the question difficult. Yeah. If I would have just said, yeah, would you kill them now? You'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'd kill them. But a child?
And how did this person prove they were from the future?
Daym, they just proved it. So like, just
I'm taking the whole family. I'm analytical, guys. You know this by now.
That's part of what makes this fun. But
all right, I'm sorry. I'm taking the fun. I apologize. I'm burning the whole fucking house down. I'm taking out the family. That's my answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is 20 questions. Great job, guys.
Was it?
Yeah.
That didn't seem like 20.
Yeah, well, you answered 19.
I answered 19.
Yeah, of course. So it wasn't 20.
Oh,
that was fun.
Yeah, you tend to have one question a week that I just won't answer. There was another one I didn't answer.
Yeah, you seem to be breaking rules, nicknames, questions, well, all kind of things.
Yeah, I've tend to been breaking rules my whole life.
Awesome. Trustworthy.
Why does that make me not trustworthy?
I didn't say not. I said trustworthy.
Yeah, sarcastically.
Well, each his own.
So you think someone that breaks rules isn't trustworthy?
We all break rules.
Good point, Patricia. And nobody is really trustworthy, are they?
I wouldn't say that's true.
You don't think that people can't betray your trust?
Of course. But you said
everyone's
no one is
capable
trustworthy.
No one is 100% trustworthy, because people do things for their own agenda, whether it's bad or not. That doesn't necessarily go with how you feel. So you can't always trust what everyone's doing. You could have someone you trust, like your wife, right? Let's just say maybe you don't trust the way she drives when she's under stress. I know I don't trust mine. I trust her as far as like being faithful, but no, I don't fucking trust her when she's having a rage and she's behind the wheel. So trust could mean a lot of things. Nobody's 100% trustworthy, I think. That's my opinion.
I think people can be 100% trustworthy until they're not. For example,
right.
I 100% trust my husband,
Mm-hmm.
but in a case of a divorce, I'm not trusting him.
There you go. So
you're right.
But you're struggling with this.
No, because you guys are like adding all kind of stipulations.
We're being analytical, like yeah.
The question was, I mean, is someone trustworthy? There are people who you can trust that are trustworthy. Now, you may not trust them with certain things, but that doesn't mean they're not trustworthy.
Okay, so now we're getting into real like schematics as far as definition. I'm just saying you can't 100% say in every scenario that you can trust anybody.
But who said it didn't? Why? How did we get to 100% in every scenario? That wasn't. We didn't start there.
Shut up, Daym. Just whatever, man. Oh my gosh, bro.
What?
You take the freaking joy out of all of this shit. Like, oh my gosh.
He's spitting
he's
shit.
Sucking the poison.
He's sucking the poison right out, man.
You know what?
Not even a pep talk before the BJ, bro. Like, just gotta go, what? Like he always does. Anyway.
Good questions, man.
21 questions then.
19.
Yeah.
19. 19 questions. So what the fuck is going on around the world?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know about the world, but I know that those Murdaugh murder situation Netflix documentary was good.
Yeah. He just got found guilty and sentenced to life the next day.
Two life sentences.
Yeah.
So that whole family is fucking horrible, pretty much. And the son Paul and the wife Maggie were killed. And the son, neither one of them were good people either, but you know, it is what it is. But
it wasn't only the son and the wife that were killed.
Yeah, it was the housekeeper and a guy, another person, Steven or whatever. Like they were some murdering motherfuckers, and their names was murder. So ironic.
Yeah,
maybe not.
It was a good documentary, though.
Yeah.
You know, when I started, this is gonna sound so bad, but whatever. When I started watching the documentary,
I know exactly where you're going.
I just kept saying, typical.
I knew exactly where she was going with that.
WYPPO.
Is this really surprising, right?
I'm like, I could have solved this. I could have solved this the first day.
Well, I didn't watch the doc, so.
I mean, it's the very stereotypical scenario. Rich, white kid, out of control, no regards for anything. Mommy and daddy are covering everything for him. And I guess that went back to the parents' parents and the parents' parents. And it's just like white people getting away with murder left and right until it comes to a point that through society, you cannot ignore it anymore. Because I'm sure that if this same scenario happened 20, 30 years ago, he would have never been found guilty. You know what I loved?
His privilege.
Yeah. You know what I love the most about the whole thing? That his judge was a Black guy. And you know, when he was calling him a monster, he was looking at him, and I know what words he was saying in his mind about this judge.
So if the thing that's crazy is that his privilege was so wild that he had white privileged people in shock with the stuff that they got away with. That's how wild it was. If you guys aren't familiar with the story, anybody watching this, check it out. There's a Netflix documentary, like out there.
4
Now,
episodes.
yeah, it's 3 episodes, isn't it? It's 3
No,
episodes.
4.
Okay,
4.
4. And they just found the husband guilty for killing his wife and son. So
And
very wealthy, very prominent people in the area that they live in, and justice was served. Finally.
A little bit too late, but yeah.
Too late.
And God knows, like I started thinking the wife kind of was in the whole thing in it. So God knows how many people have died in the hands of this family, because it extends back like a century of them being in that little town.
Yeah, it's crazy. Can't wait for the Netflix film or show. Anyway.
That you're not gonna watch.
No, he's watching it.
You said
show.
Episode
3.
I'm talking show with like actors and stuff, but yeah.
I see.
It depends. I watch like The Staircase. Love that. I could do, like I said, I can watch a show that already, like it's already finished and done, that was highly acclaimed. Yes, I'll watch it. If the recommendations are good and it's done, fine. But like anything that's like a limited series, I'll usually go into a limited series and just watch it. You know, even if it's like 10 episodes, I'll usually watch it. But like ongoing shows where they're just milking it for 10 years, like, nah.
I see what you're saying.
But why do you have to wait till it's done? I don't like it.
So you can kind of binge watch.
Yeah. To me, listen, I'm into a lot of different things, and time is valuable to me. As I get older, time is valuable. So I'm not going to waste 30 hours of my life watching something that isn't really that great or doesn't turn out to be great.
We're past that. It's critically acclaimed already. It's already got the stamp. So we know it's good.
No. If what you're saying is if like a show is out and the first few episodes it's getting all these rave reviews.
No, like
why wouldn't you watch The Last of Us if you know it's a good show and it's a good story and everything? Why are you?
Because I don't know how it's going to end as far as like how good the show is going to be continuously.
How would you know if you don't watch it?
So like
I usually wait until the series, everything is done. All the seasons or whatever. And then if it's still revered after the whole thing is done, then I will invest my time into it. But what I don't want to do is get hooked on something, love the first season, love the second season, and then season 3 and 4 is shit. And then I either choose not to watch it, I stop watching it, or I end up hating it. Like, it's just too many things in this world for me to, too many amazing things in this world for me to ignore to watch something I'm not going to like.
That kind of happens to me with shows too, actually, because I start watching a show, like, but I never finish them. Like, what is that? The Walking Dead, I was really into it. I stopped. I mean, I think it's still going on. I'm just like, how many, like, what else?
All American was like that for me. Like the first 2-3 seasons where even season 3, I was like already like I had enough of this shit.
On what?
All American.
I've never even heard of that.
So yeah, like you could invest like 2 hours into a film. You hate the movie, you move on. Like it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like that with video games as well. Like I wait. Like if the game, if the game is like a 30-40 hour game and it sucks and the reviews suck, I'm not wasting my time with it. But if it's a 30-40 hour game and it's amazing and the majority of the reviews are good, the general consensus is that it's a great game, then I will check it out. It also has to appeal to me as well, but yeah.
I don't know. I just can't rely on other people that much because there's things that like get high ratings that I fucking hate, and there's things that aren't rated that well that I love. So I can't really rely on.
Well, I mean, when it comes to entertainment, I'm not listening to one opinion. I read several reviews, spoiler-free reviews usually, and if the criticism seem to make sense and it's generally across the board, then I'm looking for certain things. If it's a show or a film, I'm looking for acting, I'm looking for directing, I'm looking for writing, I'm looking at cinematography, depending on what it is. I'm
This is
looking
too
at
much. Just watch
all of that stuff. Right.
Yo, by the
It's
time you research it, you could have watched the season.
bro, like it ain't that hard, man. You go on Rotten Tomatoes, you read 3 or 4 reviews, and you pretty much got what you want. You see the score, like it's like, come on, you guys don't read books? Like, are you guys that like, dude, I don't like to read? Like, it's
I
easy. You
I love
just
to
do
read,
some
but
research.
I love to read, but sometimes I don't like the little description, and then I'm like, oh, let me just read the book, and then I really get into it. So, but changing the subject, not that much, but on my way back to here, I saw Wakanda Forever, and I had not seen it, obviously. And man, that movie, I was just crying like a baby in this airplane. I was trying to play it up like it was my eye. Have you guys seen
Is
the
that
movie?
the second one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the second one.
Yeah, I didn't bother. I know I'm burnt out on comic book films for the most part. So
Good.
yeah,
I can't
so
believe you guys haven't seen it.
if you want to see Chadwick Boseman, he his last movie that he completed was awesome film. It's called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's on Netflix. Fantastic movie. You can see it was pretty thin in there, but he had a really great role. It was really, really good movie. Viola Davis was the lead on it. Just amazing film.
I love anything with Viola Davis.
Fantastic film. It has a real like play kind of feel to it. If you like Broadway shows and stuff, it and I think it was based off of one of them. So it has that kind of vibe to it. But amazing film, really good. Check it out. Very underrated.
I'm gonna ask you to text me that because I love anything with Viola Davis, and knowing that has Chadwick in it as well.
Well, I will tell you, this is one of her standouts. She plays the shit out of this person, like really good. And then like
I love it too.
It's like old time, like the blues and the singing, and like she kills it, man. Oh, it's really good. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Well, I think I like the second Wakanda movie than the first one, actually, to be honest with you. It was really good. Really,
You're the
really
minority
good.
on that one.
Yeah.
Am I really?
Yeah, most people don't like the second one, which is why I haven't seen it.
Really? I loved it.
Supposedly it's a lot around a Hispanic superhero that turns out to be stronger than the Wakanda people with the vibranium, and I don't know. That's just what I heard.
I mean, if you guys are gonna watch it, I don't want to spoil it, but I thought the story was good.
I'll eventually watch it. I just don't run out to watch comic book films. So
I never read comic books as a kid. I never got into the comic book movies. I only saw Black Panther because it was Black Panther.
Now, with that said, I've seen almost every comic book film, but that's weird. That's weird to me, Damien.
Why?
I like this movie a lot.
What's weird?
It's I still can't get over. Like, of course, everyone has their own preferences and tastes, but I can't get over your nonfiction thing. Like it just fucks with my head when I think about it.
I just never been into that shit. Like even as a kid,
there's so many creative and wonderful nonfiction stories. Some of the best things created are based off of fantasy worlds, things the human mind
Harry
comes
Potter.
up with. Yeah, like how is that such of a turnoff? Like, even if I say like whether it's horror or science, sci-fi or anything, immediately if it's out of the realm of reality, you're just immediately like, nope.
Yeah.
That's weird to me. That's weird to me.
I just never have. I mean, like Matrix, I liked Matrix, the first one. 2 was okay. By the time it got to 3, like it was too far out there for me. Like I couldn't deal with that. I never watched Star Trek.
If they would have stopped at Matrix 1, then what would you say?
I like
it was a great film.
Yeah, I like
So,
Matrix.
so there's so many films that are like that though, where like you can just watch a standalone film and it's science fiction or whatever, and just say that was amazing.
But and I think because in the first one, you don't really, it's not really science fiction. The first one, there's like parts, there's hints, like it's not a science fiction movie.
So, but that's why I was telling you, I've recommended films to you that are fiction, but it's presented in a realistic way. Those are usually the best ones, right? Like Jurassic Park, for instance, right?
I've never seen any of them.
You've never even seen the first one?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Gremlins? Have you seen the Gremlins?
Yeah, I remember the Gremlins as a kid.
No,
Yeah.
but Jurassic Park, that's a weird one. Well, basically, it's based off of science, but we're not advanced to do that yet, not to that degree, or at least we weren't when the film came out. And yeah, it was based in reality, but it was at the time like a sci-fi, considered a sci-fi. It's
Even when
not.
I was a kid, man, like I watched cartoons, but I didn't really get into them like that. And my favorite cartoons were like the most realistic ones. The Flintstones and the Jetsons were like, real people.
Those are my favorite cartoons too.
So like every Disney film where there's
I don't do Disney.
like Pixar and none of that, you don't do DreamWorks, you don't do any of that stuff. That's really weird to me. Some of the best films to me are animated films.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Encanto?
What's that?
Forget that. Coco is amazing.
Coco. I love Coco. We were watching it today, actually.
I cry every time I see that movie. I cannot stop crying.
I watched
Like
Lion King.
I am a fucking mess when I see Coco. And then like
I love Coco.
When he sings Poco Loco, like I get like emotional too. Like I love that damn movie.
I do too. My kids love it too.
It fucks with me so bad that I get mad sometimes because I'm watching it and I'm just like, I'm not gonna cry, and I cry and I get pissed off at myself and I'm like, Jew, you fucking punk ass bitch. But yeah, I love it. It's great.
Poco Loco.
Poco Loco.
Coco.
The movie is called Coco.
Coco.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch them sometimes because I'm in a house full of people that are heavily into the comic book shit and all of the animated shit. So every once in a while I give in and I watch a movie with the family, but it's not my thing.
And you're mean mugging the whole time, like.
No, I probably will. I try to get into it.
Like Iron Man? I love Iron Man, and I'm not really like a comic book.
I think I saw one of them, but.
And there was another one that I really liked. Iron Man was one, and the one with all the other ones, Iron Man and Superman and all the other people.
Well, you got Avengers, and then you got
those,
and then you got the Justice League. So yeah, the DC one. So
that's the other thing is it's a challenge. It's a challenge anyway for me to watch these movies because I don't know any of the backstory.
Yeah.
Like,
so did you see Joker?
No.
You never saw Joker?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
I don't think I've ever seen any of the Batman movies.
No. Go watch Joker.
Which one with who?
Just Joker. It's just called Joker. It's with Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
So what they did was Batman isn't in the film. This isn't about Batman or anything like that. And it's it's very realistic. It has nothing to do with superheroes or any of that shit. There's no like.
It's kind of like a backstory of how he became who he was, right?
Yes and no. It's a different interpretation of the character. So the character is basically someone really suffering from mental health issues in a horrible fucking city, and how he becomes that next level like psychotic. So even though you could say it's a comic book film, it's not really. It's not at all. It's dark. It's very realistic, and And surprisingly, that kind of film came out based under a comic book name, because it is an R-rated film. It is extremely violent in some areas, and it talks about mental health and the effects of that. And it's just so unlike a comic book film. And Joaquin Phoenix was stellar, won Best Actor for it, I believe. So, yeah, check it out. Joker. Joker is quite amazing.
Right.
And it's a beautifully shot film too. Really looks nice.
I love Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah. Him in Gladiator. He's amazing in Gladiator.
You didn't see Gladiator, did you?
You never seen Gladiator. How the fuck do you not see Gladiator?
I hate those timepieces. Now, my wife loves that shit. She's probably seen it in every version of it. That shit just bores me, man.
How? I don't understand that.
So you haven't seen 300?
I have seen 300, but it's a struggle for me to sit through the whole thing.
What about Braveheart? You ever seen Braveheart?
I've seen Braveheart. That's with
Mel Gibson.
When I've seen that Braveheart.
You know he did it.
I know I have. That's a really old movie, right?
Yeah.
90s, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. Weird, Damien. That's really odd to me. I'm not judging you. I've never met anybody like that.
You need to start with Harry Potter.
I'll never watch Harry Potter. I watched the what's that? The vampire shit. I watched the first one or maybe two.
You watched the fucking Twilight?
Not by choice. Not by choice.
You sat and watched Twilight, but you will not sit and watch Harry Potter?
Well, I didn't choose to sit down and watch it, but I watched it.
So you haven't watched Blade?
That's what I think I've seen Blade.
Wesley
Yeah,
Snipes.
I think I've seen one of them.
The first one was good.
How about Interview with the Vampire? Never seen that?
No, I don't do vampire shit. I don't like vampire. Oh, you know what vampire movie I do like though?
You've never seen The Lost Boys?
Yes, I was just getting ready to say The Lost Boys was dope. The Lost Boys, I love The Lost Boys.
Interview with the Vampire is superior in every way.
The book was even better.
Yeah, I've read the Vampire Chronicles. So Anne Rice, I'm a huge fan. So there's Interview with the Vampire, the Lestat, there's Queen of the Damned, there's Tale of the Body Thief, Memnoch the Devil. Love those books. Blackwood Farm is another one I love.
The Lost Boys is not really a vampire movie. Yeah, but they're not a vampire the whole movie, right? It turns into that.
Yeah, most vampire movies are like that. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I hear vampire movie, I'm like,
Watch Interview with the Vampire. You would like it.
I'm surprised that you're really into Last of Us. That's sci-fi.
It's ish. A Jace.
You know what it is, Daym? You're just closing things off based on the genre that they're labeled in. No, yes, because okay, so you like The Last of Us, but if I would have described it to you, you probably would be like, nah, I'm not watching that shit.
I even said to you, I even jumped in the chat, right? When Patricia started talking about it, I watched the opening scene and I stopped it. And I got in the chat and I said, is this a setup for a fucking zombie movie? And nobody answered.
I didn't see that.
Right. So I went and continued to watch it. And I was like, I fucking told you. But I was invested by then.
So, but yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So, like,
but
that's another
movie,
one.
This movie, the Last of Us isn't. There's zombies in it, but it's not a zombie show.
But most of this stuff isn't, Damien. Like the stuff like I'm talking to you about, like Interview with the Vampire. What do you think? It's just a bunch of guys with capes running around, like it's bats flying around. Like it's not that at all. That actually is a great story, realistic story. I think you would love it. I think you would love it because it's one of those films. I think you would. I think you would absolutely love it. Because it puts you in a scenario that it's almost a no-win situation.
I think Interview with a Vampire should be our movie review.
Oh, I would love that. It's one of
Calm
my.
down over there.
Oh,
Calm
I would
down.
love it. Oh yeah, I'm creaming my pants just thinking about it.
Hey,
Yes.
yo.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, then let's set a date for that,
All right. Next week.
and we'll record it
Whoa. What are you talking about?
to watch.
Doing
the
a
movie and
reaction
review.
on it,
Yeah,
or just watch it and then we'll review it together?
watch it together and review it together.
Oh yeah, I know it by heart. So yeah, I've read the book several times. I got the movie and
Hey,
every
Julian,
format available.
we got it.
I'm a huge fan.
We got it.
And Rice.
He has the costumes.
And I can do a bunch of breakdowns on it too.
You
And
probably
the
have
accents.
a folder like of you analyzing the film.
I have the entire Vampire Chronicle book set. I'll show it off to you.
I don't read books.
You should.
Okay, Kanye.
I don't.
Wow, I love that.
He said he doesn't read books.
That explains a whole lot with him.
Why?
'Cause he's
I read
stupid.
I read a lot. I just don't read books.
Right. You read on your phone.
There's nothing like having.
Don't
a
read for
book on your
entertainment.
hands.
I don't read for entertainment. That's boring to me.
That's another
I love
weird
reading.
thing, Damien.
Well, it's not that
You're I would say you're interesting, but you're like the most least interesting person I know.
You have to
that stuff is concerned.
You have to consider I have ADD. So for me, reading has been a challenge my entire life. So that's not something that I'm going to go to as a hobby.
Okay.
I've never met someone who is like an ADD and is so analytical. It's almost an oxymoron.
Listen, no, ADD doesn't mean you're stupid.
I didn't say that. Did you hear? Did you understand what I said? Did you comprehend what I said? I didn't say anything like that.
Well,
Things don't really hold your attention all that much, but you overanalyze things. So it's a weird combination, is all I'm saying. I'm not calling you stupid. You misunderstood that.
Yeah, because I'm far from stupid.
Bro, like nobody's saying you're stupid.
I was just saying.
Stop clinging to that.
I'm not clinging. I was just making a statement.
You make stupid points all the time, but you're clearly a very intelligent person.
Just because you can't understand them doesn't mean
oh no,
you're stupid.
I very much understand the stupidity behind some of the shit you say, but yeah.
But I'm not. I'm stupid. I'm not stupid.
You're not. You're very smart. I wouldn't be doing this podcast if sometimes, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Sometimes. That Alec Baldwin shit, I'm still scratching my head over that one.
The Cops Gone Wild chick has come out and made her first statement, and it wasn't her fault. She was groomed by the police chief.
Groomed.
She was sexually groomed and harassed, and she didn't feel safe or that she had the ability to say no. And so she's now suing them.
So let's put this into context, because so they get busted, her and the other male officers, for
No pun intended.
for having for having sex, right?
Yes.
We had a whole podcast, we spoke about that.
Yeah.
And now that everything seems to be a done deal, right? These people are fired and whatever. Now she's saying that, oh, and by the way, her husband still stayed with her and didn't seem to have too much of a problem with it. And how did they catch them? It was through text messages, right? I don't remember.
One of the cops was being investigated. I don't remember what for. In that investigation, this shit turned up. And then when they asked him about it, he just started spilling the fucking beans. Oh yeah, I'm fucking her, but so is this guy and that guy, and so then the everyone's under investigation now, and that's kind of how it went.
So now after that, she's turning around and claiming in her lawsuit that basically she was
Manipulated.
forced or manipulated into having sex with all those people.
Yes.
That is so rich.
Typical.
It is like let's say she's telling the truth, right? Let's just say hypothetically what she's saying is totally true. Why wait in that particular scenario?
Why wait for what?
Why wait until your face and everything is plastered all over the news?
Because it's a lie and it's something that they told her to do now.
You think this is like a conjured up by her and her lawyers?
Sounds like a money grab. You know, if that law
It does sound like a money grab.
Yeah.
Probably gonna be a book to follow.
Maybe a film
and a Lifetime movie.
Maybe a TV show.
Maybe
a Lifetime movie for sure.
Yeah, you know,
I hate that.
It's things like that that really make our system a joke.
Yeah. I mean, we are not professional legal system people and we can smell the bullshit. Like, relax over there. This pisses me off so much because this puts a damper on women that are actually in a situation. They are put in a situation that it's real. And when you have somebody like this, that she was Girls Gone Wild police station edition, and now you want to be like, no, this was being forced. No. If it was one person, if it was maybe one person, the police chief or whatever, and she's ascending, positions or whatever it is, but dude, the whole entire force?
Half the force.
Nah, the other half hasn't come out yet.
Well, if I recall, the both of you didn't think that was really a fireable offense.
Julian, we were fucking with you, bro.
No, you guys were not. You can't twist it now.
I've told you this 50 times. Every time you bring this up, I've told you that.
Patricia,
you were not fired for this. No, I wasn't.
You right. And did you get the impression that Damien was fucking with me?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, so I don't know. Good fooling, I guess, Damien. You got me. They're so clever. This guy's with his eyes closed and
eyes are open.
I know.
All right. Scott Adams, the writer of the cartoon strip Dilbert, for some reason thinks that most blacks are not okay with whites. And therefore he thinks that makes blacks a hate group. And so now he doesn't like black people.
And he's done with them. He's done with them. Did you see the video? Did you guys see the video?
Yeah.
He's done with them. And yeah. So apparently, I think he's starting to backtrack some of his statements.
He's trying to, yeah. I haven't seen it, but I've read where, he came out and he's trying to say he was speaking hyperbole. And, mistake number one was, he's lost 80% of his business, of his income from making the statement. And he did so based off of a poll by Rasmussen, which is known to be a right-wing pollster. And so they pushed their agenda to their audience and cost this man 80% of his living for some bullshit.
Yeah, this is what happens when and even to everyday people, right? They consume this media, this right-wing hate shit, and they consume all of this, and then they somehow think they have some great political point, which turns out to be racist or homophobic or whatever it is, and then they end up getting in a lot of trouble and start crying cancel culture. But at the end of the day, like, was he that out of touch to not realize that obviously that's going to be offensive to damn near most of the people in the country?
No, because this is what happens when someone truly believes they are superior to other people. This is a clear case. He probably thought that nothing really was going to happen. Like, he really thinks in his head that he was superior to all
go
of us.
to record yourself. It's not like he was overheard saying it. It's not like it was caught on a hot mic that he thought was off. He sat himself down in front of a camera and hit record and said that shit. So he meant that shit.
No,
You know,
100%.
when you see the you've seen Dilbert, what he looks like, right? The character, we know what that character. I mean, we all grew up with it, right?
Not
I have a
Damien.
fair idea.
Oh, that's right. Damien doesn't read books for entertainment. But
I
anyway,
don't read
there's
comics.
more of a picture.
Comics.
Yeah,
I don't read comics.
yeah. But you know what the character looks like, right?
I think so.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, everybody, it's very famous, very popular. Did he not think that a good portion of his audience were black kids who grew up reading that and watching that?
You know what? That shit'll be back in the paper next month.
There's a fan base for damn near like everything, and anything that's out there. There's a real fan base, like, and you have communities of people. So I'm sure there were some hardcore Dilbert people out there. As silly as that may sound to us, there are people out there who probably really enjoyed that, and how shitty that must make them feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but I think it's terrible, especially because it was geared towards
I think
children.
it's great.
No, I think it's great that an asshole like that is exposed, but I'm talking about strictly for the community, the people who like that.
Yeah. Fans. Yeah.
I don't know. It makes me wonder now, like, about the content and was some of this shit like dribbled in there.
You never know.
I'm sure.
Yep. It's funny because like my wife was a fan of Paula Deen. And
that was a hard one.
That was a very hard one for her to swallow, because even when like shit was coming out, like she was still trying to like really hard give her the benefit of the doubt. And then you know, once she did like had like her black employees like dressing like you know, like slaves and shit, and serving food and shit, that was it. Like, it was just like, look, can't fuck with her no more.
She did that on her show?
I think, I can't remember the exact story, but I know she had them dress up like servants and shit. Like, back in the Make America Great days.
Yeah, Make America Great.
I was a Paula Deen fan as well. I remember that.
Oh, you can relate then.
Oh yeah, probably not to the degree your wife was. I mean, it wasn't that hard for me to click off, but like initially I was surprised and I was like, really? Like, I never really picked that up. And then like the second thing came out, I was like, I guess she is. And that was that. After the first thing came out, I was like,
it's kind of like how a lot of fans reacted to Joe Rogan, even though he seemed to have gotten away with it, like relatively with no problems. But yeah.
I think, yeah, never mind. I agree.
Yeah, I know you are. Or are a fan of Joe Rogan.
I have not watched it since.
But he is a racist. I'm sorry, he is. No?
I don't know if I would go that far.
What do you have to be a racist in your mind?
I think you would have to dislike a certain group of people based on their color.
So when he's telling the story that he went to the movies with some friends in a neighborhood he wasn't familiar with, and when he walked in there, it was like Planet of the Apes because of all the black people, you don't know if he's racist?
It was definitely a racist comment.
Usually that's what racist people do. They make racist comments.
I would disagree. I would agree, but I've also heard him speak very highly about many Black people as well. So I don't know how you.
Well, there's racist slave masters that were having sex with Black women.
In
There was
love with them, not just having sex with them, but actually in love with them. I watched this story a couple of years ago where this Black woman was married to a white guy, and he just kept getting more and more racist, but he's always had it, but it just got to the point where she had to leave him. And this was like around the Trump, like kind of whole rise
Sounds
of
familiar.
Donald Trump. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it happens. You could be a total bigot and have friends of different, races, but it doesn't change the fact that you're a bigot.
Mm-hmm. I believe that.
That reminds me of weren't we going to talk about something like that?
About what?
Hey, is it appropriate to unfriend someone on social media?
Oh, yes. So that's my question, right?
Pose the question.
Is it appropriate to unfriend someone, not only in social media, but just in general, based on their political beliefs?
Right.
Political beliefs? I don't think so.
That's weird.
Well, I think what she's saying is it would have to go further than that.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
like for example, I cannot say if my friend is a Republican, that's not my friend.
you're kidding yourself.
No,
you are. And Damien is too, because I've had a conversation with Damien a bunch of times. If you think that your Republican friend is really your friend, you're delusional. Especially if they're white. Then you're totally fucking out of touch. Because basically the way they vote is to basically strip your rights away as a human being. And if it came down to some race war, yeah, they're not on your side.
But that's not the case with everyone, because I know, okay, first and foremost, I don't have white close friends.
Okay.
I don't.
Right.
I have conservative Republican. I have Republican friends, but for example, like not all Republicans are against abortion, because I know Republicans that are for abortions, and I actually know Democrats that are against abortion. So that's what I'm saying. It depends on what it is. It cannot just be like a black and white situation.
Here's my thinking. I've said it before. If you are a Republican, I don't care what your reason is. It could just be you're pro-life. If you are a Republican, you are intentionally understanding what that means. That means you're going to be voting for people, politicians, who represent a huge constituent of the country that basically wants to segregate the country or eliminate us totally. And they make laws, they write laws, they vote for laws that actually do that. So,
which, by the way, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
This is what you just said reminded me. Did you guys read that the insulin medication is going to be capped at $35 now?
Yeah, we talked about with Joe Biden speech.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And not one Republican voted for that.
Yeah. So how is that? Everything they vote for is to destroy fucking human beings. Like, what are we talking about here? Is that reality not like clear? If we remove all of the personal feelings that we have for any human being, and you just think based on what they vote for, what they're voting for is essentially to do what?
Part of the reason, I disagree for a lot of same reasons Patricia said, but there's a flip side to that too. I don't agree with everything for with that people that I vote for.
Right. Of course.
So how is that any different?
Okay. Maybe I'm not explaining it correctly. So if you are a Republican, what does that mean? We got to define what that means in a conversation. Right? Because think about it, right?
But it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to have a monolithic meaning.
No, but it does. It does, Damien.
No,
it really does, because you're not a Republican before your beliefs. Your beliefs determine whether you're a Republican. This isn't like we're talking about discriminating against somebody who's from another country or their race or their religion. Your choice of being a Republican is based on your belief system. That's what comes first. And if your belief system dictates that, hey, you know what? You want to be anti-vax. You want to be shitty to the environment. You want to take away women's rights. You want to take away the rights of minorities. You want to strip teachers of their pay, strip people, just general people of their rights. You don't fucking like the handicapped people. You don't like the gay people. You don't like the transgender people. Everything you do is designed to basically fucking destroy everything. Oh, you love guns, but God forbid, you want to give free lunch to kids in school. They hate the poor people. They hate everything. You're telling me that that's not enough to say, fuck you, I'm not your friend?
But you know what I think? I think that a lot of the people that vote Republican or even vote Democrat, a lot of them don't really know the meaning of certain things. Like, for example, Trump, when he came into this political mess, he got a lot of people riled up because of closing the borders, and that's all these people were thinking. And they vote these people in, but they don't really know what they're really voting for. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't even know, like, our a lot of people don't even know the things that they're voting for, amendments that are on the ballot.
I don't
And they
buy
just go
that
with whoever is Republican.
I don't buy that.
There's
as
a
an
lot of
excuse.
ignorance. There's a lot of ignorance out there.
Of course, but that doesn't excuse you. Just because you might not be the most informed person, if you're voting for policies that is destroying society, I can't back you on that. I can't give you any kind of leeway.
But what I'm saying is that there's people out there that I understand, you're right. It's not an excuse to be ignorant, especially this day and age. But you start talking to people that are like, oh, they're trying to indoctrinate our children into sexuality because with the whole gay ban books or whatever. When they start talking about what the gay ban is, but when you actually read it, it's not even what they're thinking it is. And it comes from both sides of the aisle, actually.
No,
they take something and
that's a false equivalency. So like it's way worse on the right. It's not even close. Let me put it to you this way. Both of you answer this question. Daym, you all right, bro?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So answer this question for me. What would you say is the percentages that Donald Trump either raped someone or is a pedophile? What would you say if you just had to throw out a wild guess? Like,
very high.
There's 10% chance, 20, 50, 80, what?
Very high.
Very high. What do you think, Patricia?
Pedophile? I don't know. That's I don't know. A rapist? Ugh, it would be 50-50. Like
Patricia, he used to own Miss America and Teen USA.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He is on the record for making it a rule that he should be able to walk in the dressing rooms and judge these women as they're
and all this stuff with his daughter and all the little comments and all the allegations and everything. So there's a high probability.
Wait, Miss USA, isn't it? You have to be 18 or over.
No, it was a teen.
He also owned Miss Teen USA.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know that. So I would say 50-50.
I think it's a little bit higher than that. I'd say the probability is way higher, and I think most people in the country, especially when he was running for the first, well, not for the first time, when he actually won it, a lot of that information came out, that news came out, the conversation was there, and they fucking voted for him anyway. Like, he fucking won by a landslide, more Republican votes than any other time in history. We can't chalk that up to just ignorance. We can't say that more than half of the people who voted are just ignorant. No.
Well, certainly you don't think half of the population favors child molesters and rapists.
I do. Actually, I do.
Okay.
I mean, I guess they do favor a rapist or a child molester over like minority.
We have people who have run for Congress.
I think
who are admitted child pedophiles, and they run on the Republican Party.
Yes, that was the thing. I think it's my favorite term is cognitive dissonance. They because it hasn't been proven in a court of law, it allows space or opportunity for people to say, well, no, I don't believe that he did those things.
Unless the person is black or brown. And then it's like, he did it.
Right. So if you're in a bubble and you're just gonna have a belief system that you're just set on because that's what it is. Usually when cognitive dissonance, it's usually when you're presented the evidence that you're going to reject based on your belief system or whatever. But most times they know. And with that term, most times these people are aware of it. They just can't accept it. And we know that in life with everything, right? Like, you know, you ever met someone who's totally stubborn about something, or they have some old wives' tale and you tell them, no, that's not true. They just won't believe it. That's what it is. But I don't think that that's the majority in the Republican Party. Of course, we have your one-offs. You have your ignorant people. You have people who just aren't smart. And yeah, I guess you can say maybe they're not racist, but that would mean that you're saying that your friends are fucking stupid. One or the other. Is that they're horrible fucking people, or they're just fucking stupid and ignorant?
No. Again, and you're just going to go back to the same thing because we've had this conversation, but there are people who vote a certain way based on a singular purpose. So,
right. But the definition of racist goes beyond just someone who wants to hang someone off a tree, right? If you're contributing to that system of oppression, you're part of a racist system, you are racist. So you might not be the kind of person where you want to see black and brown people killed, but maybe you just don't want them in your neighborhood, and that makes you racist.
Or in your job.
Or your job.
Or in a position of authority.
Or maybe, oh, fuck affirmative action. Oh, you know, like all of those things fall under being racist.
You're right, Julian. They're all racist.
They're all of them. It's different degrees, though. It's different degrees.
Like I've said in the past, I think the results.
I think we should bring like a Republican into the show.
No, I don't think we should do that.
No, because of me. Because of me. Because of me, right?
It would be a shit show.
No, but we can have
I would be respectful.
A mature, respectful conversation. Because there's a lot of questions that I would like to ask.
Who would put themselves in that position after they've been repeatedly called racist and all kind of other things?
I wouldn't call them a racist.
You already have.
No, I wouldn't say it directly to a person, but I would explore why is it that these things are acceptable to them.
But see, you're making the assumption that that's the thought process they go through.
I don't care what the thought process is. There's a difference between reality and there's a difference between that and what you're talking about. I'm saying if somebody was here, right? Somebody was debating me or having a conversation, I'm not going to straight up call them a racist. But the reality of the situation is Donald Trump is this, that. He's done racist shit. He's done sexist stuff. You can't deny it. We've heard it. We've seen it.
But they do deny it because he's never been found guilty.
No, it's not that he just his statements alone. He's said racist comments before. He's made sexist comments before. So my question would be, why is that acceptable? And you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna talk about Bill Clinton, because that's what they do.
I would agree they tend to deflect, but
and I've met plenty of them where I've had the conversation, and I'll bring up something and they'll say, well, I don't support that. Okay, well, what about this? Well, I don't support that either. Well, what about this? Well, I don't support that either. And then my question is, so why the fuck are you still voting for these people?
because of a singular reason.
But you're still voting for them to be able to do those things.
And some people
and that's horseshit. There are other alternatives to Donald Trump. If your singular thing is maybe you're pro-life, there were other choices.
But you know where they get
him.
grasped? Religion. That's a big.
Where they
big player. With Republicans, sometimes they might not agree with whatever you just said, but it's like, you know, they're religious. You know, it's like the Democrats are like, we are supposed to be the people that are trying to destroy America with, you know, gender neutral everything, LGBTQ plus everything. You know, we are categorized like that.
If they're Christian, then I would argue that none of the Republican policies are Christ-like. Right? You think Jesus walking this earth, everything you've read about Jesus in the Bible and the things that we grew up, you think Jesus would be walking around here being pro-gun? You tell me what fucking scenarios Jesus running around with a rifle, an AR-15. Like, if you're gonna be some religious assholes gonna come up here and defend your political position based on your religion, okay, well, tell me that Jesus is okay with, you know, tax cuts for the wealthy. Tell me Jesus is for that shit. Tell me Christ would be sitting here thinking, you know what? I really love gerrymandering. I really like that. I really think that's a good policy. Come on, like, there's nothing they can say. You think Jesus would be like, you know what? I love Texas. I love the death penalty. Let's just execute them all. You think that's Jesus?
Doesn't the Bible say an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth? Maybe Jesus would be like, yeah.
You could take a lot of things out of context in the Bible.
I think we should have a Republican in the show.
Let's bring them. I'd love to hear somebody defend some of the shit that these people do.
Y'all looking at me like I'm supposed to bring somebody.
Because you're the guy, bro. You know what it is too? Let's take. I talk about a Republican that I actually like, right? Mitt Romney. I spoke about it a couple of episodes ago. Even Mitt Romney is having a hard fucking time being a Republican. He's having a real moral crisis when it comes to a lot of this shit.
That's kind of making my point and Patricia's point. He's still a Republican, right?
He's doing it because of the constituency that he's already built.
No, I don't think so. I think there is.
He's also a very rich and out of touch white guy, but yeah.
Is he out of touch?
But you like him?
I like a lot of things that he's done in the last few years. Yeah. I would never vote for him. I'd rather set myself on fire.
I think there are a lot of people. I think there are a lot of Republicans that are shell-shocked or in denial.
In denial, yeah, for sure.
Where, you know, they had this idea of what this group was about, and they hold on to that, even though it has changed. They're still holding on to these ideals that no longer exist. Not that they don't exist in the party, but they're not the dominant in that party any longer. And they don't know what to do.
You bring up a great point, because I wanted to talk about this. Bill Maher recently had some transgender shit he was saying, but we're not going to get into that now. But one of the things that he keeps talking about is wokeism, right? So he wants to separate the extremists. He wants the extremists on the left, he calls them woke, and then he's got the MAGA crowd on the right. So, okay, whatever. And he's like, what happened to the moderate Democrats and Republicans, the people who can get into a room, negotiate a bill, come to an agreement or whatever, you know, like the good old days, right? There really weren't any good old days. That's somewhat of a fallacy, because they were obviously closer in ideology back then, but there was clearly one side that was coming up with policies that were outrageously fucking racist.
Yeah, I think
And
the
then you had
difference
Democrats
was
that were somewhere scattered all over the place.
no. I think the difference is I wouldn't say they were closer in ideologies. Both parties recognized the singular issue, but had two different ways to resolve it. And so you negotiate to figure that out. Today, neither party can even agree on what the issue is, let alone trying to solve some shit.
It's not an equivalent argument. It's the right. It's the right. If they know that the Democrats support it, 9 times out of 10 they're just going to vote it down no matter what.
And so Rush Limbaugh kicked that shit off.
I would say the election of
Party.
Barack Obama was what did it.
It started before him.
Not nowhere near to that degree.
No, it started before him, but it certainly.
I would say with Mitch
with
McConnell and that whole thing where they were just gonna make sure that they didn't vote for anything Obama came up with. I think ever since then, we've not been able to basically agree on almost anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, doesn't that prove my point? Is they're all fucking racist? A black man comes into office and they elect Donald Trump afterwards. Why? Why would they do that? Because the idea of having another black person in a White House, or the fact that he was even there, I'm surprised they didn't burn the fucking building down and rebuild it. I'm surprised Trump didn't do that shit. Maybe he would have done that in his second term. I wonder if he even felt comfortable sleeping in the same room.
I'm sure he had the mattress changed.
The mattresses are always changed.
I guess we're covering music and recommendations.
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, we could get into it.
Well, I do have one thing that I wanted to make note of. Right now in Florida, this is, sorry to exclude anyone else, but speaking to the Floridians out there right now, there is a petition to legalize recreational marijuana in the state of Florida. And there's an effort going on right now to get it on the 2024 ballot. In order to do so, they have to achieve 891,589 signatures on this petition. Currently, they're at 420,000. So if you would like to see marijuana legalized recreational in Florida, go sign a petition. Regulateflorida.com.
I have no comment. But yeah, good stuff.
I mean, everybody, there should be more than 400,000 signatures. Because when I was there, everywhere that I walked, I could smell weed. So I'm like, what's going on?
Well, it's been like decriminalized to some degree, to where you would only get a ticket, right? And you.
But from my research, not every county's like that. I guess you can.
No,
get
not every
arrested
county.
by-
Not every county.
Right.
Orange County, Hillsborough County has some degree of it. So yeah, but this is statewide.
So what's the website again?
Regulateflorida.com. Music and movie recommendations. A lot of shit dropping this week, and I'd call it just that. A lot of shit dropping this week. Nothing I would recommend personally, but the Wu-Tang song of the week is Protect Your Neck. On the introduction album.
First song I ever heard from them.
It's the first song a lot of people heard. It was the first single that they released.
Yeah.
Was Protect Your Neck.
I heard it on the mixtape. Yeah.
Smoke on the mic like smoking Joe Frazier.
The Hellraiser.
Raising hell with the flavor.
So that's all you got, Daym? Is just the Wu-Tang song of the week?
That's it, man, this week. Yeah.
All right. Well, I got a couple of recommendations here. I'm going to do something a little bit different. So I am a collector of media when it comes to films. I collect 4K movies now. I think film preservation is really important, and especially when they're remastering stuff. So I just picked up new 4K film that came out, and it's beautiful. They added the HDR to it. It's in 4K. Malcolm X, starring Denzel Washington, the Spike Lee film. Beautiful, fantastic looking film. The way it looks now in 4K. If you have a good 4K TV with HDR and a 4K player, highly recommend watching Malcolm X. It is one of the nicest looking films from that era that I've seen. Really looks nice. It makes you realize what a great looking film Spike Lee created, aside from, the great acting from Denzel, and just the set pieces on it were beautiful, especially when they go back, in Malcolm X's early life. It's got kind of like a filter look to it, and just really, really a gorgeous looking film. So check it out, Malcolm X. It's also one of my favorite films. I think it's Denzel's best acting and Spike Lee's best movie. So check it out, Malcolm X. And the next one,
just watching it on TV the other day.
Oh, I just watched it on 4K and just blew me away. And it's a movie that I frequent. I watch it all the time. Next recommendation is actually a documentary. We spoke about it earlier and figure why not. So the Murdaugh Murders on Netflix. It's a current story.
Murdaugh.
Murdaugh Murders, right, on Netflix. Not the best put together documentary, but just the story itself is just so wild and so crazy that it's definitely worth a watch. So Murdaugh Murders and Malcolm X. Check them out.
What did you say, Damien?
Top shelf story.
I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't put that on top shelf.
No.
It's just so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the story is so tragic in a lot of ways.
I'm sorry. Maybe my expectation for your recommendations is too high. I apologize.
Okay. Whatever that means.
Well, movies, I'm not a connoisseur, but everybody needs to go watch Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever. It was so good.
Anyway.
Anyway, Wakanda Forever. It was really good.
Okay.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. We need to figure out how you're going to continue to watch.
I already told you.
Yeah.
My sister's going to send me the file.
All right.
Did you watch episode 7?
I did. So tell your sister to get it together. You're going to have to catch up 2 weeks by next week.
Is that your catch-up dance?
Yeah. Wait, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Because I haven't seen it, obviously. Did they show what happens? How did they show what happened to Joel? Or did they just go on to Ellie's background or history?
A little bit of both. Okay. So they do show what happened to Joel, and that trauma, her dealing with that, sent her back into a flashback of when she first had to deal with something like that. And the majority of that episode was a flashback, and then a quick scene of present, and then a flashback. It was 95% of it was a flashback, but
okay.
Yeah. That's all I'll say without ruining it for you.
I'll make sure that I'll watch it this week. I'll tell her to sit there and record it.
You have to watch 7 and 8.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Ooh,
so
2
are we
hours.
we're gonna do this interview with a vampire then?
Yeah.
Review it and talk
Yeah.
about it next week. All right. So that's gonna be fun.
How-
I really do think you're gonna enjoy it, Daym.
I'm down. I'm down, man.
How long is the
I think
movie? I can't remember.
it's a bit over 2 hours.
I've
So
done.
start tomorrow, Damien. Start.
Wait. So
No, you
okay.
have to watch it in one shot. Like you can't like
Ooh.
come on, man. Just sit up, bro, and just watch it.
Listen, I have the solution for you.
I thought we were gonna watch
Damien.
it together.
Yeah, we'll watch it together because I can break shit down for you guys too.
How are we gonna watch it together? There's such a big time difference.
Yeah, that's the.
Well, we can do like what we're doing now, and you know.
Oh, you think I'm gonna get up at 3:30 in the morning to watch?
No,
Relax, relax. Like maybe like 10:30 our time, so that way you know. Yeah. Like we could do this on a Saturday or Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a couple of hours. But if we don't get to do it that way, Damien, one way that you can watch it all in one shot is to play it while you're taking a shower.
Yeah, my hot water don't last that long.
I doubt that. I think you've been in the shower way longer than 2 hours at a time.
No way. I mean, not awake anyway.
Hmm?
Not awake.
Anyway, we I don't know. Will you sleep in the shower? Is that what you're saying?
I have slept in the shower, yes.
Jeez.
While it's running?
Yeah. Yeah.
While you're standing?
No.
So you wait. You sit on the floor with the shower running?
I have, yeah. Oh yeah, that shit's great.
The visual is just not really where I want to be right now. Oh my God. That actually opens up some 20 questions. But anyway, we'll save that for next week.
All right.
So this leaves us.
I'm sorry. If anybody wants to submit questions, go ahead and leave the comments.
That's a good idea. That is a good idea. I don't know. Shit might get crazy.
I need to start making accounts on YouTube.
Fake accounts.
Fake accounts.
I've been dying to ask Julian this.
Well, if you guys ever want to come up with your own 20 questions.
That's kind of like cheating.
No, because you come up, but you ask
unless we ask
Patricia,
you.
or right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or she'll come up with them and she could ask me and you. So
yeah, I think we should rotate it somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe each week one of us asks the questions, so it's not just Patricia and I. Like next week I ask you two, and then next week she asks us two, and then
that'll be fun. You can see how difficult it is to come up with some of this shit.
Patricia, you're up next.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna come up with these questions. My questions.
It's terrifying.
Listen, let me say something.
I'm terrified.
It's a yes or no or whatever. It's not gonna be no. What happened to this? What happened? No, you're just gonna answer.
All right.
And I'm gonna bring my questions.
Wait a minute. We got to make a rule right now.
We need some boundaries.
No boundaries. This is the rule for fucking you, Daym, not her.
Oh shit.
We answer the questions.
Listen, man, I don't trust you.
Bro, you act like I'm like fucking like stealing your soul, man. It's just like I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, and then you're gonna make it a fucking meme and a gif in the episode. Listen, man.
I could do that without you saying that you're like to receive.
Well, I'm gonna control the things that I can control.
Answer the questions. Anyway, this leaves us to our quote of the Daym. Daym, what you got for us, man?
I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's hard trying to stay real in a world full of bluffs. Hope that doesn't go over your head.
That said, I got nothing else. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, click that bell icon, and share the videos. Very important to share the videos if you support us. That's the best thing you can do for us.
Right.
So hopefully you can. And leave a comment too.
And if you're still here, you don't have to pause and back out to
I knew
Right.
you were gonna say that.
Right.
peace.
Peace.